time, though. I would like to personally welcome you to Man Hour After Dark. Say that thing. Why I bring you the host, Mike, Buck, and Cone. You know who coming to the stage. Sports talk than what you about to hear right here. I second that.
Go. You know that it's us when we talking about sports. Giving you facts on the field to the court. Tune in, we need the support. 1 hour too short, then listen some more. On all your stations, not dropping no music. Stripes like Adidas, but Nike just do it. Down 4 in the 4th, we go for the win. Michael 2 seconds, we taking it in. Buck, Mike, and Combs, you know what's going on. Man, now we're at the dark, no LA, we the big spark. No 4th and inches won't cut short. Got the best talking, it's all ours. Wasn't more than buzz beaters. We coming live off 3 speakers, go.
Let go! Shit! It's live, it's raw, it's uncut, NFL time. Oh, it's gonna be a good night. It's gonna be good. That's what she said. Boom. Boom, boom, boom. Boom, boom, boom. Good evening, Laura.
And now, Mike's thoughts. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, people of all ages, Henry Ruggs III is due for release in 2026. Henry Ruggs III can get out of jail in 2026 and potentially come back to the NFL. If you guys do not remember, Henry Ruggs III was a very ascending star in the NFL for the Las Vegas Raiders. He got a little bit of tipsy one night, and he decided to drive home drunk, and he ended up killing a girl and her dog when he was driving 140 plus miles an hour down the Vegas highway. Now, I posted a meme saying, hey, will there be any teams interested in potentially picking up Henry Ruggs III in 2026 when he's able to be released from his house arrest? He's not even in jail. I think he's in house arrest still. But would there be any teams out there or anybody in general that would give this guy a second chance? And overwhelming in our comments say, no, this guy's a piece of this, he's a piece of that, he should rot in hell, yada, yada, yada. He doesn't deserve any chance at all. At all. And I have been a victim of somebody dying too young. Not a victim, but somebody in my life has died too young. My wife's dad was killed by a drunk driver way too young in his life. And our family has coped with, hey, this guy is out of jail now. This guy is out doing his thing. He's living life. He's got a wife. He's got kids. He is doing his best to support himself. He got a second chance in life. We see him down the road all the time. So I got to ask this question, guys. When you see Henry Ruggs III get out of jail in 2026, and there are going to be NFL teams that are probably calling and maybe bringing him into training camp and see if he still got it, do you guys legitimately think that Henry Ruggs III should get a second chance in the NFL? Should he get an opportunity to redeem himself? Me personally, yes. No question about it. The man served his time in jail. He has paid the price for his young, dumb mistake. I mean, I don't care if it's young or dumb. It was a stupid mistake. He drunk and drive. He did his time, and now he's out. Why can't he get a second chance in life? Why can't he get the opportunity to have a wife, have kids, and potentially have a career in the NFL? Why is that? Give me one good reason why. Oh, because he drunk, drive, and killed a girl and her dog. Okay. Many people do that. Everybody gets second chances in this life. So stop acting crazy that he's not ever going to do anything right. He's going to be a piece of this, this, and this. Stop it. He deserves a second chance. And this is somebody that has been affected by an opportunity or a situation like this. He deserves a second chance. Cue that intro. Are you ready for the best damn NFL show on the planet? Man Hour Nation, rise up. Yeah.
Hey, let's go. Hitting that gridiron, we going hard, we running the plays. You know the vibe, only the strong survive. Gotta keep your head in the game.
Got an NFL Underdog Story.
Steady bringing that sauce. We about to take off. Get it hot, this man, our sport talk. Yeah. From the quarterback to the lineman, everybody bringing heat. You don't really want to try them. Hey, who gon' win? It's a battle of the giants. This show is the flyest. Nobody can deny it.
This is Man Hour Sport Talk. Man Hour Sport Talk. What team you reppin'? Let's keep it interesting.
Who caught another down? Who got that interception? This is Man Hour.
What?
Sport Talk.
Huh?
Man Hour.
What?
Sport Talk. What team you reppin'? We keep it interesting. Who caught another down? Who got that interception?
Let's go. What is up, Man Hour Nation? Michael Buckheischer here with the Man Hour. Shirt over to manhourradio.com, guys. Get yourself some fresh little merch. We got the white hoodies. We got the gray hoodies. We got the gray hoodie. We got the blue hoodie. Got the red hoodies. We got those 5 colors, 6 colors, whatever it is. Plus, we got the Fugazi hoodies. If you think your team or somebody's team is Fugazi in your family, if you're like, hey, I'm a Kansas City's fan, and those Denver Broncos are Fugazi, head over to manhourradio.com, click on the Fugazi hoodie, get the orange and navy blue one, bada bing, bada boom, send it to your best friend. Like, hi, your team's Fugazi. It is. But guys, we do got a great story for you lined up today. We got the NFC divisional side of the playoffs to talk about. We got the Commanders getting ready to upset the Detroit Lions. You heard it here first. Commanders are going down, baby. Or are they? But guys, how can the Detroit Lions win this game? Can they legitimately go out there and smack the baby back bitches that are Washington Commanders? Can they do that? But what happens if they lose? What happens if they lose? Can the Commanders upset the Detroit Lions? Slow it down, baby, slow it down. But then we got the Eagles taking on the Rams. Does Jalen Hurts got to be great? How great does Jalen Hurts got to be versus the Eagles or versus the Rams for the Philadelphia Eagles to win? We're going to talk about that. And then it's Friday, so we got to panic, sound the alarm to slow it down, baby. Slow it down. Aaron Rodgers, is he coming back to New York? Are the New York fans in panic mode because Aaron Rodgers is coming back to New York? Let's talk about it. And then Ravens offense coordinator Todd Monken was out there on the interview train. He was loving life. He was doing his thing, but it's going to come back and bite him in the ass. We need panic or patient about that. And Derrick Henry, my man's got a new nickname. Derrick Henry's got a new nickname. He wants to be called Lightning McQueen. If you guys do not know, Mikey Lightning McQueen was at the top. In the midst of his peak, he, boom, went down. Can we talk about that? How bad a nickname that is at a panic or patient? We got a little bit of fact and a little bit of trap. And we're going to talk about the greatest artist of all time. We are going to talk about the greatest artist of all time. Who is it? Is it Tech Nine? Is it Guns N' Roses? Is it Garth Brooks? Or is it a little bit of Tay-Tay? Is it Tay-Tay? Are we going to shake it off? Or I don't know, but guys, let's shake off that intro. We got to welcome some people in and get into the show. Welcome people in. My words are all slurry. Let's welcome some people in the show. We got Laura Johnson Hedrick in the chat tonight. Says, good evening, Laura. Good evening to you as well, Laura. Hope you're having a grand old day. She says she's rapping a Man Hour hoodie right now. She says, damn it, go to Man Hour Radio and get those freaking hoodies. Why? Because Stone Cold said so, that's why. What's up, Laura? What's up? And she says, you going to talk like that voice all night long? You should. No, my voice definitely could not take talking like that all night long. We got my man Hour Hobbies in the chat, a part of the toxic table. He says, the Patriots want Henry Rugg III. We got a first round pick for you, buddy. Come on, damn, the price is right, Billy. And JM says the Eagles could use him. He could reunite with him and Smitty and Hurts. Bring back the Alabama days. John will get a freaking hard on. John's already got a hard on even thinking about Alabama, but damn. Listen, I think he should get a second chance. I think Henry Ruggs III deserves a second chance. If you guys don't, I just think you're is it a hater? I mean, it's not really a hater, but I just think he deserves a second chance. JM says Philly gave Vic a second chance. Well, in your defense, JM, right? Vic did just fight dogs, right? I mean, obviously animals got more rights than humans in this world because, you know, like it is what it is. But yeah, yes, Michael Vick did get a second chance. Julius Peppers got a second chance. Hell, that offensive lineman for the Seattle Seahawks strangled his girlfriend near death 3 times. And he got 1, 2, 3, 4 chances. Finally, he killed her and like, oh, maybe he's maybe he's the bad guy. I don't know. But John says, hey, he paid his debt to society, period. He has a right to live his life. I agree. And Laura says, I don't think he should be allowed to play. You took away a life. Why should he be able to make millions? Laura, there are many people on YouTube. Hell, if you go to TikTok right now, and there are many people that have done their time. They've been in prison for counterfeiting and selling drugs and all these white-collar crimes that you want to call, right? Which I think white-collar crimes are more detrimental to a person's well-being than killing them. But I'm going to digress from that. But there are many people out there on YouTube and TikTok. Hell, there is a body fitness guy. I believe his name's Cali Muscle. This guy blew up overnight on YouTube from saying, hey, I was in jail. I did this, and this, and I did my time, right? And he's making millions, right? So why shouldn't you be able to make millions after you paid your debt to society? You made a mistake. You've done your time. You've hopefully improved yourself. Now, let me go and live my life. Let me try to support myself, right? I mean, just because I made a mistake 10, 15 years ago, why should I be able to make millions of dollars? I'm just saying, like, we could get into this conversation all night long, and I see both sides of it, right? I see both sides of it. Like, hey, you took away my dad or my aunt or my uncle or my best friend, right? Like, and why should you be able out there and like enjoying life? But at the same time, hey, I served my 10 years, 5 years, whatever it was. I don't know. You can go either way. And John says a civil suit, I'm sure, will pay to play. I'm not for sure what that means. I'm not for sure if the people's family can go after a civil suit, right? Because it's already been charged, right? John said, or Huffy says, how many beers are you in, Buck? I'm one monster in, buddy. One monster in. My man Mark D, the other part of the Toxic Cable, is in the chat today as well. What's up, Mark? Hope you guys are, man, we got the whole Toxic Cable crew. We got the Big Ten Pundits. We're going to have a good show today. We're going to have a good show. We got my man Derek in the house as well. What's up, Derek? Laura's repping the Man Hour hoodie. Huffy says, Mark D is Fugazi. He is Fugazi. Hoffy says, Aaron Ridgers is going to have Laura's Vikings tonight. Slow it down. And John says, Pigskin Pundits, get you some. And Alpha Rob in the chat as well says, what up, Buck? What up, Alpha Rob? What up? Guys, stay around to hour number 2. We're going to give our NFL pick'ems, but let's talk some NFL football. Let's talk divisional round football, NFC style tonight. And want to start on top of the lines with the Detroit Lions. We are going to start on the top by this Saturday night's game. This is the first game of the NFC divisional matchup. We have the Washington Commanders taking on the Detroit Lions. They go to battle Saturday night at 8 p.m. in the first NFC divisional game of the 2025 NFL season. Actually, 24 NFL season, but you know what I mean. But guys, the Detroit Lions is one of the best teams in the NFL. Hands down, they are a very, very good team. And the Washington Commanders might be the most overachieved team this season in the NFL. Whoever wins this game is going to be a great NFC story. I think everybody and their dog is going to be rooting for said team, whoever wins this game. But let's start on top. Let's talk about the Detroit Lions. How can the Detroit Lions win this game? And obviously, all season long, guys, the Detroit Lions have been able to jump on teams early and fast. They have the second-ranked offense in the NFL, the 6th-ranked rushing attack, and the 2nd-ranked passing attack. They are freaking good on offense. It is what it is, right? They're a very, very good offensive team. And once they jump out on a team early, their defense brings pressure and gets after the quarterback, right? They get after him over and over and over again by bringing 6, 7, sometimes 8 guys, right? Ever since Hutch went down, they had to blitz. Bada bing, bada boom. It is what it is. Now, on the defensive side of the ball, they almost have to get up early because, let's just be honest, their defense is not that good. I'm calling it out. Their defense is not that good. They had the 20th ranked overall defense in the NFL. The last time a not top 10 defense in the NFL won the Super Bowl was a very, very long time ago. I should have looked it up. It's been at least 15 years. They had the 20 ranked overall offense. Not very good. How about this? They do have the 30th ranked pass defense in the NFL, but they do have the 5th ranked rush defense in the NFL as well. Now, let's not get it twisted. A lot of those numbers are skewed, right? Because with the great offense that the Detroit Lions carry, they're able to jump out on teams early and therefore forcing teams to pass the ball and kind of abandon the run. I think how you can beat the Detroit Lions is run at them, right? Run the ball, run on the ball, but we'll talk about that later. Teams, when they play the Detroit Lions, they get down early, which most teams take away their rushing attack, right? And then they want to pass, right? Boom, boom, boom. So the biggest key for this game, me personally, guys, is I think Jared Goff has to get a lead early. When Jared Goff is able to operate with the lead, he doesn't force the ball, like 5 interceptions versus the Houston Texans. He doesn't make stupid mistakes, and he's able to just kind of nickel and dime you down the field, hand the ball off, run some trick plays, run out, and have some fun. So key number 1 to the Detroit Lions is to score first. Score first and score early and score often. Number 2 is to stop the Washington Commanders on the first and second drives of this game. And the number 3 is to force Jaden Daniels to beat you with his arms, not his legs, not with the running backs and Brian Johnson Jr. It is to force him to pass the ball. Guys, that is how the Detroit Lions can and more than likely will win this game. So guys, when you look at the Detroit Lions, what do you guys think? First of all, do you guys think they're going to win the game? Do you guys think legitimately that the Detroit Lions are going to win this game? And then secondly, how can they win this game? What do you guys think? What do you guys think? Let's go ahead and jump over there in the chat here and says, Pixie and Punnets get it streamed, right? Yes. It's always on the Discord, John. It is always on the Discord, but this particular game would be, I believe it's on CBS, isn't it? Let me look. Load, baby, load. I didn't see the networks because I don't just... What it is what it is. I don't really care who announced it. I usually watch it on mute anyways. Oh, so it's on Fox. So the Lions and Commanders game is on Fox. So the 4 o'clock game, the Chiefs game's on ABC, and then the Rams game is on NBC and Peacock, and then the 6:30 game, Ravens and Bills, is on CBS. So, right, but yeah, it'll definitely be streamed on our Discord. John M. says a diehard Kansas City Chiefs fan. Worried about that Texans defense. We talked about the Texans defense last night, and you should be. You should be scared of them. You should be scared of them. John says you got to control that line of scrimmage and don't make mistakes. You got to control the line of scrimmage and win on first and second down, says John, because you don't want to put Dan Campbell in a 4th down situation because he's going to go for it. He's going to go for it, and he's going to blow it each and every time. I'm just saying. Alpha Rob says, score early, get the crowd going, and then Washington is in a survival mode. Yes, you have to score early on the Washington Commanders. That's how the Detroit Lions win all their games, right? That's how they blow out their bad teams. That's right. They played a lot of bad teams this season. Let's not get it twisted. They blowed out those bad teams, but hey, you got to jump out of them early. Hoffy says, Commanders, Bambi Dan cost his team in this game. Baby Dan. I think you're right, Hoffy. If it comes down to a critical 4th down call, Dan Campbell is going to get it or going to go for it, going to miss it. It's over, baby. And Laura says, I'm waffling around. I know I'm a Vikings fan, and I know waffling's bad, but I don't know if I want the Detroit Lions to win. I don't know if I want the Washington Commanders to win. Hell, I hope for a tie. There's no freaking ties in the playoff, Lord, so don't you dare waffle around. John says it's going to be a blowout. John says the Commanders are going to blow out the Detroit Lions 34-17. He says, I hate the Detroit Lions. They're not my team. I broke up with them last week when they didn't win. He says, I'm done with the Detroit Lions. No, guys, John is a huge Detroit Lions fan, and we know they had a bye week, whatever. It's called a joke. My man Ants in the chat says, what up, y'all? What up, Dan? And Daniel Barry Sports Highlight. This man owes us some push-ups, I believe, Hoffy. Hoffy, there's your boy. Some push-ups. He says, what's up? What's up, Daniel Barry? Hope you're having a good day, bud. Hope you're having a good day. Josh Olson is in chat today. He says the Lions had a plus 222-point differential in the regular season. That's pretty good. It is pretty good, Josh. Detroit Lions have blown out a lot of teams this season. If I remember correctly, they had 6 one-score games. 6 of them. But on the flip side of that, Josh, it is easy to have a plus 222-point differential when you play the Tennessee Titans, when you play the Jacksonville Jaguars, when you play the Indianapolis Colts, when you play the Chicago Bears, when you play the when you play the San Francisco 49ers, or hell, when you even play the Minnesota Vikings. Now, I'm not saying the Lions are bad. I'm not saying the Lions are bad. I'm not saying that they don't deserve to be the number 1 seed. I don't say that they don't deserve to be 15-2, but the stats have lied about the Detroit Lions all season long. Let me say that one more time for the people in the back. The stats have lied about the Detroit Lions all season long. Because if you guys remember, when Aiden Hutchinson went down, I said, hey, they need to replace him or they're not going to go to the Super Bowl. And people are like, oh, but they're still winning, Buck. They're still winning. Oh, they're still winning. You played the Titans. You played the Jaguars. You played the Colts. You played the Bears. And what did you do in those games? Yes, I understand versus the Titans, you scored 52 points. Yes, I understand you went to Lambeau Field and scored 24 points. Yes, I understand you went to Houston Texans and scored 26 points and beat them in the second half. But after that Texans game, what did they start to do? They realized, oh shit, we have to blitz. They started bringing 5-6 guys every freaking pass down because they knew they couldn't get pressure from the front 4. Then before the trade deadline, they bring in Jadarius Smith. Great pickup. Great pickup. Do not get that twisted. Because he had the pass rush. Stats have lied to you. White Boy Rick says, can I ask you a math question? Probably. I got a calculator. You got a calculator on your phone. White Boy Rick. Come on, man. 2 + 2 will always equal 3. We know that. Ant says the Lions' offense will be too much for the Commanders' defense. The Commanders don't stand a chance in a shootout with the Lions. And Ant, you are right. You are right. If it is a shootout, the Washington Commanders don't stand a chance. If it's a shootout, the Washington Commanders cannot go blow for blow on the offensive side of the ball with the Detroit Lions. The Commanders do got a pretty good offense. I believe they're 6th overall, right? Pretty good offense, but they're still young. They're still a little dumb, and they still got Dan Quinn as a coach. That's trying to do his best impersonation of Dan Campbell. I don't know what he's going for on 4th down all the time for, but he is trying. He's trying to do his thing, right? He's like, hey, let me be good, but he just can't do it. But if it's a under 20-point game, if this is under a 20-point game, it favors the Washington Commanders. I'm just saying. If this is an under a 20-point game by the Detroit Lions or Commanders, whatever, it favors the Washington Commanders. Shootout, you are right. You're right. John says, slow it down on the Chiefs spunk, Buck. I don't know what that means. Hoffy says, boy, where are my push-ups? You owe me. Don't be making no bets. Don't be writing a check that the ass can't cash. Let go. Mark D says Lions win. Mark D says it's not even a competition. It's like my Denver Broncos walking into Buffalo. We thought we had a chance. We thought we could compete for them. We drove on the first drive and we scored like, oh, here we go, baby. I got a high hard chub, and then I'm like a teenage boy, my first time getting laid. Blew my load before my pants even got off. Mark says the Lions win. That old balls defense of the Commander skins won't be able to stop the Lions' run game. Okay. The Washington Commanders' run game is not very good, or rushing defense is not very good. Stats have lied about the Washington Commanders' rush defense. Let's just be honest. It is what it is. It is what it is. And Laura says, as much as I would love to see the Commanders win, but the Lions will come out on top. Gosh, I'm so sorry about them beating my team twice. Go NFC North. Laura's not waffling around. Laura's picking the Commander skins. John says only a couple guys on IR, right? And here we go. Here we go with the excuses, Detroit Lions fans. I think I got Do I got a round of applause? I don't think I got I'll get a round of applause. But guys, let's give John a round of applause. If you're watching on your phone or your computer, drop your stuff. Let's give John a round of applause because we got the first excuse of the night. The Detroit Lions have 16 guys on IR, baby. We injured, Buck. We tired. We won 15 games. We had a bye week. We're going to come out rushed. Just shut up. Next man up, right? Isn't that been the theory all year long? Next man up. Next man up. Next man up. I don't care how many guys you have on IR. You're still not the most team with the players on the IR. You're like 5th. Get out with those excuses. Get out of there. Ant says, I would love to see Aiden Hutchinson versus Jaden Daniels. And Ant, you might get your wish, brother. You might get your wish because I don't see the Washington Commanders going anywhere anytime soon. $80 million of cap space. They got Jaden Daniels. He's not going anywhere. He's just going to keep ascending, barring something crazy happening. He might get a new offensive coordinator next season. I mean, might make him even better. But we'll see. We'll see. Hoffy says, Scary Terry Robertson, Ertz, and Daniels, they'll be in a good what they can win in a shootout. No. Hoffy, slow it down, baby. You don't want to get in a shootout with the Detroit Lions. Because when you get in a shootout with the Detroit Lions, all of a sudden, Jahmyr Gibbs is able to run those little crossing routes at 5 yards right behind the linebackers. You dump it off for him, and the next thing you know, he's running 70, 80 yards. When it's a shootout, the Detroit Lions can beat you in any way possible. Throw the ball deep, throw the ball to short. Hell, they can take a knee and not get called. If you know, you know. And then they can throw the ball for 80 yards and be like, yeah. I don't want to get in a shootout with the Detroit Lions. I don't want to do it. Josh says, I'm picking the Lions 26-23. That kind of seems like a pretty favorable score. Favorable for the Commanders, baby. Let's go. Hoffy says, should be removed from the chat until we get the push-ups. Biatch. Fire Dude says, one pride. Yeah, there is only one Lion in the NFL. So you are correct. There's a one pride, right? There's one pride. But hey, the Lions are probably going to win this game. Let's just be honest. Lions Hype says pressure will be too much for the rookie. Lions win easy. What pressure? What pressure, Lions Hype? You understand that Jaden Daniels has been there. He's done that. The Washington Commanders are 6-0 in one-score games, or in games won in the last seconds, right? They have been on the winning side of all season long. Jaden Daniels doesn't have any pressure. This man's stone cold. That man could walk into LA. His forest fire, his house could be on fire. Everybody around him be like, hold my shoes. He's just gonna walk up there all casually, grab his dog. Hey, buddy, how you doing? He's gonna get water out of his house, take a drink. He's gonna walk back and be like, shit happens when you party naked. Jaden Daniels is a dog. I don't care what anybody says. Jaden Daniels is a dog. I slept on him all season long. I was not high on him at all. I was like, yeah. Guys, Jaden Daniels is a dog. Look out. Lions Hype says you sound like a Chiefs fan from last year. What are you talking about? What did Chiefs fans say last year? Me as a Chiefs fan, I said the Chiefs were the most dangerous team in the NFL last season because they didn't have a number one receiver. What do you mean I sound like a Chiefs fan from last year? I sound like a Chiefs fan every year because I am a Chiefs fan. Oh, week one. Here we go. There we go. This man, Lions Hype, must not only be a Detroit Lions fan, he must be a Las Vegas Raiders fan too, because week one, baby, not only was it last season, it was week one of last season. Lions Hype, did you guys win the Super Bowl last season? Did you make it to the Super Bowl last season? How about this? Did you win the NFC Championship game last season? Oh, I'm just asking for a friend because me as a Chiefs fan, I'm so narrow-minded and I don't understand. I just worry about my team. But week one, baby, must be a Raiders fan. Christmas Day. John says, and at the best record in the NFL, too, Einstein. They're tied with the best record. Tied with the best record. 15-2 with the Kansas City Chiefs. We got beat by the Denver Broncos 38-0, right? Mark says Jaden Daniels is the truth. He is very, very good. He is definitely approaching top 10 quarterback category, right? After the season's over, and I rank my top 10 quarterbacks, top 10 receivers, top 10 running backs, I bet you Jaden Daniels is probably number 7 or number 8. I'm just saying. Derek says, I refuse to go for Washington until they change their name back. That's never going to happen. It's forever going to be the Commanders. It's forever going to be Commanders. John says the Lions will have 3 sacks and a fumble recovery. And John, if that happens, it still may not be enough. Lions Hype says he has been to Detroit in the playoffs. Have I been to Detroit in the playoffs? No, because last year was the first time that they made the playoffs in 25 years or whatever? Like, slow it down. Yo, Lions Hype needs to slow it down. You need to slow it down, baby. Lions Hype is real, but it's overhyped. You know what? Do you guys remember when I said it would not shock me one bit if the Detroit Lions were a first game exit in the playoffs? I was going to pick the Detroit Lions, right? I was going to pick the Detroit Lions to beat the Washington Commanders. I was going to pick them against the LA Rams and make it to the Super Bowl. But you know what now? F your team. Go Commanders, baby. Go Commanders. Let's go. I was talking about you and complaining about the injuries from last week from week 1. I obviously, Lions Hype, you are new here. And welcome. I know I've been a little hard on you, but welcome. You will never hear me complain about injuries. You will never hear me complain about injuries because Kevin, John, Jim, the rest of the picks and pundits, it's always next man up, baby. It's always next man up. So slow it down. Slow it down, baby. Slow it down. And says Jaden Daniels has more playoff wins than Justin Herbert and Kyler Murray. 2 overpaid quarterbacks. Let that sink in. Let that sink in, baby. Let that sink in. Alpha Rob says Lion fans coming out since the Vikings fans disappeared. Exactly. Exactly, Alpha Rob. The Vikings fans have now put back on their blue shirts. The Viking fans like, oh, Vikings fans, we're not a Vikings fan anymore. We are a Detroit Lions fan. Hell, half of them were Green Bay Packers fans just last week too. Just saying. Go Durs. I think it means go Commanders. Is that the Durs? Go Durs. Go Durs. Commanders have 1 good win this season. They do. They do have 1 good win. And the Detroit Lions have 2 good wins. What's it matter? You play who you play. These Lions fans doing way too much right now, man. Listen, I understand about being hyped for your team, Lions hype, and who's the other Lions fan that's in it? Like just like in here, John. I understand about being hyped for your team. I get it. Live off your hype. Hype up your team. But don't let the hypeness cloud your vision of reality. The reality of the matter is you still need to beat the Commanders that are not a bad team. I have overlooked the Commanders all season long. I was so adamant about not putting them in the top 10 because they haven't played anybody, right? They're got 2 wins in a row, but who have they played? Yeah, they got five wins in a row, but who had they played, right? I was like, yeah, but who have they played? Who have they played? Who have they played? That was my big drawback for me. Yeah, but who have they played, right? Guys, the Commanders are the real deal. They are the real deal. I like them. Aaron R. says the Texan defense is going to eat Mahomes alive, boy. Probably. I mean, shit, we talked about that yesterday. Probably. John says, bullshit! Washington defense is not containing the Lions to 1-score game. I'm pretty sure I didn't say they were going to, John. If you think I said that, you definitely misconstrued that 100%. I'm saying if it is a low-scoring 1-score game, it favors the Commanders. That's all I said is if, big if. I'm not saying the Washington Commanders are going to hold the Detroit Lions under 20 points. I'm not saying the Washington Commanders are going to hold them underneath 30 points. I'm not even saying they're going to hold them underneath 40 points. The Detroit Lions are the real deal, John. They are the real deal. They have the second best offense in the NFL for a reason. They are. I was mocking you, Buck. Okay. Is that supposed to hurt my feelings? I'm playing. Well, thank you, Laura. Jim says, Bitty Boy is hopped on and heading to Vegas. Blank this season, he's really built for the future. Who is Benny Boy? Oh, Ben Johnson. Ben Johnson. Okay. You think Ben Johnson heading to Vegas? Alpha Rob says the Lion fans are roaring at you, Buck. Listen, bring on the hate, baby. Bring on the hate. Vikings fans, you guys got that smoke? I'm all for it. Lions fans, you guys want the smoke too? Let's smoke it up, baby! Let's go. That's tough. That's tough. But you know what else is tough? Is the Detroit Lions fan base. They're very, very grungy, biting kneecaps, grit, whatever you want to call it. The Detroit Lions are a pretty good team. But guys, let me ask you this question. What if the Detroit Lions lose? What if the Detroit Lions get beat down by the Washington Commanders? What if this hype around playoff football in Detroit is back, baby? They come out there and they shit the bed. What happens? Would this be the biggest disappointment in the NFL playoffs this season? Guys, the Detroit Lions are a 9.5-point favorite in this game. The biggest favorite in the divisional round playoffs. The Kansas City Chiefs are a 7.5-point favorite. Detroit Lions, 9.5-point favorite. Guys, that's a lot of freaking points. Not only in the regular season NFL, but in the divisional round, 9.5 points. True favorite by win by that much. Damn, that's tough. They also have the best odds to not only to make it to the Super Bowl, but to win the Super Bowl at plus 275. That is a 28% chance of them winning the Super Bowl this season. And when you think about it, we've already been through it. In the chat right here on the right-hand side of my screen, I see it. Detroit Lions fans, boom, 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 boom. All season long, they've been talking about, we're going to the Super Bowl. We deserve it. We haven't done nothing since 1957. We deserve it. We deserve it. We deserve it. Guys, the Detroit Lions have had 6 one-point games this season. Just 6. Out of 17 games, 6 games have been one score. They have been blowing out their weak-ass opponents week after week after week. The Titans, the 49ers, who else did they play? The Jaguars. They've been blowing them out. Guys, if the Detroit Lions lose this game, this would be the biggest upset ever. This would be the biggest disappointment in Detroit Lions history ever. We've seen all the memes. We've gone from 3 and 14 to 8-8 to 15-3. Like we've seen Dan Campbell's growth year after year after year. We've seen him get better and better and better. Last year made it to the NFC Championship game. And honestly, Huffy, I love you like a brother, fuck you like a sister, but your 49ers shit the bed in that game. The Lions should have won that game. I'm just saying. The Detroit Lions, they cannot lose this game. It's simple as that. All the pressure is on them. The city's on them. The world's on them. The NFL thinks they're the only team that can stop the Kansas City Chiefs from a three-peat. If you ask anybody, they say, oh, can the Eagles beat them? Probably not. Can the Rams beat them? No. Can the Commanders beat them? No. Everybody wants the Detroit Lions wins to stop the Kansas City Chiefs three-peat. Guys, the Detroit Lions, if they lose this game, it will be the biggest disappointment in the NFL ever. Not just this year, just not the last 2 years, not the last 10 years, the biggest upset ever, the biggest disappointment ever. I've said the Washington Commanders have overachieved all season long. All season long, they've overachieved. Let's just be honest. They shouldn't even be here. They should have lost last week to Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Hell, they were on their way out of missing the playoffs in general. But here they are in the divisional round, playing the best team in the NFC, the best record in the NFC. And let's just be honest. They cannot lose this game. So guys, in the comments below, let's have a discussion. If the Detroit Lions lose this game, big if they lose this game, is it the biggest disappointment in this year's NFL playoffs? Mark D says, Buck, stop. Stop even talking about that just like that. It's the Lions versus the Bills in the Super Bowl. It doesn't matter, baby. We don't got to talk about that because the Lions are whooping that Commander ass. Mark D, I like your confidence, baby. I like your confidence. Stick to your guns, baby. Put those guys away because, damn, it's getting hot up in her. Laura says the Lions and Bills will have this year's Super Bowl. Sorry, Buck, your Chiefs aren't making this season. And you know what? It is what it is. It is what it is. We can't win them all. We can't win them all. The Buffalo Bills and the Ravens are playing some of the best football right now in the AFC. Let's just be honest. They're hot. The winner of the Bills-Ravens game have a pretty good shot at making the Super Bowl. Probably will make the Super Bowl. I'm with you guys on that. I'm a realist. I'm not going to stop not rooting for my team, but I'm a realist. I can see it. Lions Hype says the Lions will be the best team in the NFL for the next 5 seasons. I'm going to say stop it. Slow it down. Slow it down, baby. Slow it down. Let's worry about this year. Let's worry about beating the Commanders first. Let's worry about beating the Rams next week. Let's worry about getting to the Super Bowl and beating the Kansas City Chiefs or the Baltimore Ravens or the Houston Texans or the Buffalo Bills. Let's worry about this season first, Lions Hype, before we start worrying about 5 years down the road. Let's worry about that. Let's worry about paying Jared Goff. Let's worry about paying Jahmyr Gibbs. Let's worry about paying St. Brown. And then let's talk. Slow it down. You are putting the cart before the horse. That's why people hate the Detroit Lions right now, because you're putting the cart before the horse. As my dad always said back in the day, don't count your chickens before the eggs hatch or whatever, right? That's what you're doing there, Lions Hype. That's what Lions fans in general are doing. That's what the Minnesota Vikings fans were doing. You guys were getting all crazy. You saw those Duggan eggs. We're like, hey, we're getting a dozen chickens, only 8 of them hatched. Like, shit. I sold 12 of them. Now what am I supposed to do? You get that ass ate up. Get that ass ate up. John says, I would tape a penny to the skipping needle on the screeching record player. Common sense bet Lions. What are you even? I would tape a penny to the skipping needle on the screeching record player. First of all, what is a record player? This man's like 80. Jesus. Long Gray Davis says, I really think anybody can beat on any given day. So we don't know who might win this witching hour. Witching hour, like the witch, like the pointed hat. That's got to be autocorrect. But yeah, Mr. Davis, that's why we love football. That's why people here on the 45 people that are watching us over here on YouTube, the other 16 that are watching us over here on Facebook, this is why we love football. Because legitimately, any given Sunday, any team can step up, beat anybody. We saw it. The Denver Broncos beat the Tampa Bay Buccaneers week 3. We saw the Buffalo Bills step up and beat the Detroit Lions. What was that? Week 15? 14? That is what's great about the NFL. Legitimately, any given Sunday, any team can win. Hell, if the New York Jets and Aaron Rodgers were in the playoffs, that's a stretch, but they could beat the Kansas City Chiefs right now. It's like, it is what it is. Lions Hype says they beat the Packers twice and the Vikings twice. So you're putting stock into the Green Bay Packers? I thought everybody thought the Green Bay Packers were trash, overrated. Jordan Love wasn't elite. Now you're calling it a good win. Okay. Don't shoot the messenger. And says, correction. It's going to be the Ravens versus whoever wins the NFC. The Ravens are going to Super Bowl. John said, I've seen the 0-16 season too. My dad, as a Detroit Lions fan, that was a tough season. I was a young lad. I was 14, maybe. 14? Yeah, maybe someone saw that. Arthur Brown's in chat. Long time no see, AB. My man's a Miami Dolphins fan, so he all knows about heartbreak, and he says the Buffalo Bills is cursed. They won't get past Baltimore. That's just your hater talking. Lion Type says the Bills or the Ravens will stop the Kansas City Chiefs. Okay, we're not talking about the Kansas City Chiefs right now. We're talking about the Detroit Lions and Washington Commanders. You guys are all trying to get my goat about talking about my Kansas City Chiefs, trying to get me off track. I knew I should have worn my Kansas City Chiefs beanie, but you know what? Been out here partying all day long, and you know what? Listen to Tay-Tay. And Javi says, shut that mouth, boy! Don't be talking about my Niners. Okay, slow it down, baby. And here we go again. Jim Keogh. Kansas City's about to lose. If they lose, they lose. If they lose, they lose. It's been a great run. Back-to-back is tough. Winning the Super Bowl is tough. It is what it is, man. It is what it is. Alpha Rob says the Lions definitely can't lose this game. They've been the NFC top team all year long. Correction, Alpha Rob. I believe the NFL season's 200 some odd days long. They were number one team for 199 days. For 24 hours, the Minnesota Vikings were the number one team in the NFC. Let's give them credit where credit is due. Jim Keogh says the Washington Commanders will win this game. Jared Goff is overrated. And you see, I think Jared Goff is a good quarterback. He's a good game managing quarterback. When he has a lead like the Detroit Lions have had all season long, jump out early, he's able to nickel and dime it down the field, play loosey-goosey, and manage the game. That's what Jared Goff's strength is. He's a game manager. That's not a bad term. Patrick Mahomes is a game manager till the 3 minutes left in the game, and then he takes over it. Tom Brady was a game manager to about 3 games left in it, then he took over. Matthew Stafford is pretty much a game manager. Dak Prescott is a game manager. It's not a bad term. But to say Jared Goff is overrated, Jared Goff has been in the Super Bowl. How's that overrated? How is Jared Goff overrated if he's been to the Super Bowl? Has Josh Allen been in the Super Bowl? Has Lamar Jackson been in the Super Bowl? Has Justin Fields been in the Super Bowl? Has Dak Prescott been in the Super Bowl? Slow it down. Excuse me. Laura says, better your Niners than my Vikings. Man, am I that far behind on the chat? My bad, guys. My bad. Jim Keogh says, Goff is going to be looking like Sam Darnold and the chicken with his head cut off. I don't see how. I don't see how. They're going to run the ball. Is David Montgomery playing in this game? Well, I know he's been practicing all week, but is he going to like play? They're going to get that man the ball. Lions Hype says, Jim, it's time for bed, buddy. It's time for you to put down the Bud Light. It's time for you to put down the Miller Lite. It's time for you to stop puffing the Magic Dragon and go to bed. Long Gray David says, please don't sleep on the Houston. They just might be the Kansas City Chiefs, and their season will be over. I'm not sleeping on the Houston Texans. We talked about it last night. I'm not sleeping on them at all. Actually, in one of the cold hard facts, Mr. Davis, I said that the Kansas City Chiefs will start slow. The Kansas City Chiefs will be losing at halftime. I'm just saying. Jared Goff is overrated. Jared Goff's overrated. Jared Goff's overrated. And Derek says, I thought you were a New England fan. Hoffy is a New England fan, Miami fan, San Francisco 49ers fan, Kansas City Chiefs fan, Dallas Cowboys fan, Seattle Seahawks, Houston Texans, and also a New York Jets fan. So he's all over the map. Jim says, put pressure on Goff, and he's going to look like Sam Darnold. You put pressure on anybody, and they're going to have a long day. Tim Couches in the chat says it's pronounced Dan Gamble, and he will be the reason they lose to the Washington Commies. And honestly, Travis, I think everybody is kind of in agreement, right? Dan Gamble, as you like to call him, I kind of like that. Dan Gamble, he will gamble on a play, and it will change the whole momentum of the game, like it did last season for the San Francisco 49ers in the NFC Championship game. I think you're right, Travis. I think their weakness is the coaching. I think they got a great team. They got a great offensive scheme. They got a great defensive scheme, but the fourth down play call is going to come back and bite them in the ass. I think you're right. Lions Hype said they just paid all of them and not Gibbs. Well, they're going to have to pay Adrian Hutchinson, and they got paydays coming, right? They got paydays coming. John says you spelled pro. I don't know what that word is. Prospectors wrong? I don't know. What? Jim says, put money on Houston and Washington money line. If the money line is with the points, 100%. I don't think neither of them are going to be 7 or 9 point spreads. It's going to be a close game all the way around, I think. Brandon Barrett says, one game at a time, baby. Brandon, I'm guessing you are a Detroit Lions fan. Hopefully the rest of the Detroit Lions fans can understand that one game at a time. Stop looking about 5, 6, 7, 8 years down the road. Slow it down, baby. Slow it down. Yeah, you're right. One game at a time. One game at a time. Josh says, not the Lions won't be the best team in the next 5 years. Not even close. Josh, listen. The NFC this year surprised me a lot. I was not expecting the Eagles to be a 14-win team. I was not expecting the Commanders to be, 12-win team. I was not expecting the Rams to bounce back the way they did, right? The NFC is very, very top-heavy. You got the Lions. You got the Eagles. You will have the 49ers that will be back. You have the Rams. You have the Commanders. You still have the Dallas Cowboys. Don't be sleeping on the Dallas Cowboys. Super Bowl bound next season, baby. Guys, there are 6, 7 teams in the NFC. The rest of the bottom teams suck. But they're very, very top-heavy, and it is going to be a bloodbath, right? It is going to be a bloodbath. Laura says the Vikings are done. Let's not talk about them anymore this season. You're right, Laura. They were one and done. Sorry. Putting money on the Commanders is like burning it. With the 9.5-point spread line type, I don't know. That is tough. Jim says, I'm a Packers fan. Love is overrated. They're still young. They're still young. They're still young. Josh said the Chiefs will win 3 or 4 more Super Bowls and maybe before Mahomes retires. They are built to win a lot of games, right? They're going to be the best team for the next 5 years. Braden Barnett said the Detroit Lions were 5-1 versus against playoff teams this season. Braden, and then the Kansas City Chiefs were 7-1, 6-1 versus playoff teams this season. That honestly, yes, that's good stock into them. That shows that you played some good quality opponents. But at the same time, when you bounce back and play the Titans and the Texans and the Bears, like it is what it is, right? It is what it is. Bet Houston on the money line. Mahomes is old. If Mahomes is old, I'm a freaking grandpa. Good Lord. WBN says, I think it's honestly more pressure on the Eagles winning it than the Lions. Eagles have no excuses to shit the bed this weekend. We're talking about the Eagles coming up, Ant, so stay tuned for that. Stay tuned to that. Ryan Nielsen says the Detroit was 5-1 versus playoff teams this year. They played the Vikings and Packers 4 times. I like that. Yes, they were 5-1, 6-1, whatever they were versus playoff teams, but when you play the same team 2 times, Packers, so technically they were 3-1 versus playoff keeps, right? Technically. Well, yes, they won, but whatever. You guys know what I'm saying. Jim Keogh says, I think Goff is just a tad better than Sam Darnold. And Sam Darnold was a top 7 quarterback this season. So that makes Jared Goff a top 5. Just saying. Alpha Rob says, I forgot about those Vikings. Those 24 hours, they gave the Vikings fans something to hope for. Moonshine says, Super Bowl. Was that making fun of my stutter? It is what it is. Long Ray Davis says, first off, if something can sit down the Lions run game, the pass game will be all over. This is the biggest run-on sentence ever. First off, if someone can sit down the Lions run or shut down the Lions run game, it will be all over, because the only thing they can do, the only thing I can see is they got to run game that everybody can't stop. So Long Ray Davis is saying, yes, the Detroit Lions are a good offense. They are the number 2 ranked offense in the NFL, but their bread and butter is their running game. And you are 100% correct, Long Ray. When you are able to run the ball effectively, like the Detroit Lions have all season long with that 2-headed monster in Gibbs and Montgomery, I believe, is going to be back playing in this game. If you can stop the run, by all means, the Detroit Lions are a very, very beatable team. But nobody this season has been able to stop it. Even when they lost to the Buffalo Bills back in 14 or 15, they still ran all over the Buffalo Bills. When they lost to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers back in week 3, they were still able to run the ball. The running game is the bread and butter of the Detroit Lions. How do you stop it? I don't know. I legit don't know. Bobby Wagner's going to have a game of his life. Right? That's just what it is. DFC Touchdown says, how do you feel about the Buffalo Bills' performance? Performance versus who? Versus the Broncos? It was very, very good. But I think this is going to be the best game. Bills Ravens will be the best game. Braden Barnett says Goff is consistent top 5, top 10 quarterback in the stats. Stats lie to you, but Jared Goff is a top 10 quarterback at least. Top 5 is probably pushing it. Definitely top 10. Year after year, I definitely put Jared Goff in the top 10 year after year after year. Davis says, you know one thing about Jared Goff, though. He played very scared when he was under pressure. A lot of quarterbacks play rushed, scared when they're under pressure. When you're consistently getting hit, yes, you are going to pressure, right? You're going to rush things. It is what it is, and that's how things are, right? Goff is missing mobility. He's a classic drop back passer. Sam Darnold, Brock Purdy, hell, Dak Prescott, classic drop back passer. So yeah, he definitely doesn't have the mobility left or right. And says John Peoples Hurts was the easiest route to the Super Bowl. All the dude has to do is feed Saquon. We're going to talk about the Eagles. We're going to talk about the Eagles. Jim says, I don't think Goff sucks, but Daniels is way better. I would concur. Right now, I think Jaden Daniels is better than Jared Goff. So 100%. Laura says, kind of way off topic, but how did the Commanders make it further than the Vikings in this year? They just smacked me in my face. Well, you see, Laura, when you win in the playoffs. Charles, what's up, Charles? He says, money on the Eagles winning it all. Charles, go over to DraftKings and BetStamp or whatever you want and put some money on the Eagles, right? Put some money on them. If you're confident, put some money on them, right? Jim, money line does not include the spread. I don't know what the money. I don't know nothing about betting, Jim. I don't know what the money line is. I know what the point spread is. I know what the underdog is, but I know what the fucking money line is. My bad. My bad. Cole D. Zitz, Niners fan here. He says, do you think that what they should expand Purdy's contract or move on? I think they should move on from Brock Purdy. As a Niners fan, you know that Brock Purdy has now injured his elbow. What is that? It's not the AC joint. Is it the AC joint? I think it's the AC joint. I can't remember. Whatever his elbow is that he is, it's the Tommy John surgery, right? He hurt it again. Probably going to have surgery on it again. You have to see how he is this offseason, right? If anything, franchise, you still got one more year on Brock Purdy, if I'm not mistaken, and then you can franchise him, tag him the next year, see if he's worth it. Well, whatever, right? And we'll see, Mark says, what about the other games? We talked about the Chiefs and the Ravens game yesterday, Mark. We'll be talking about the Eagles, Rams. Slow it down. We have to go through these comments, Mark. This is a live interactive show. Just because you've been on a show where you don't answer comments, here we answer comments, baby. I got tons of comments to get through, so slow it down. Braden says, hey, man, all I wanted was from the Lions is to be respected team, and they are there. I think the Lions have earned their respect. I think so. DFC says Josh Allen is better than Mahomes this year. Yes, he is. He is, as far as stat-wise and overall outputage-wise this year. But, last 5 minutes of the game, do you want Josh Allen? You want Patrick Mahomes? Give me Patrick Mahomes, right? Give me Patrick Mahomes. Mahomes is only 29. Yeah, that was just somebody trying to troll. Speaking of troll, Anthony Davis says the Houston Texans will beat the Kansas City Chiefs. Keep throwing that spaghetti at a wall. Hopefully it will stick eventually there, Anthony. Hopefully. Because he said it again, Texas will beat the Kansas City Chiefs, right? Lions Hype says, let me repeat. Let me clear my throat. The Lions are 6-2 versus playoff teams this season. You are correct. Young Nine Slim says the Eagles will smash the Rams. Fools on TV want the Rams to win. And you know what? Let's talk about those Eagles. Let's talk about those Philadelphia Eagles. The Eagles and the LA Rams go to battle on Sunday in the second divisional game of the NFC playoffs. The Eagles finished the season at 14-3. They had a good win over the Green Bay Packers in the wild card game, And they've been playing pretty damn good since their bye week back in week 5. The LA Rams, fresh off the upset win over Laura's Minnesota Vikings on the Monday wildcard game, and they finished the season 10-7. Arguably one of the hottest teams in the NFL. Actually, both of these teams are pretty hot. Let's just be honest. The Eagles are on top of the NFC right now, and the Rams, like I said, are one of the hottest teams in the NFC right now. But when you look at this game, Eagles versus Rams on Sunday afternoon, I believe it's 3 o'clock, 3:30, something like that. But anyways, does Jalen Hurts have to play great for the Eagles to win this game? Does Jalen Hurts have to go out there and whoop that ass, baby, to beat the LA Rams on Sunday? Guys, when you look at Jalen Hurts, he has not been a top 10 quarterback all season long. Hell, the first 4 games of the season, he had 3 touchdowns to 4 interceptions. He was playing bad football. Interception every game, it seemed like, right? Bye week happened, fire everybody. Nope, we're going to right the ship. We're going to figure things out, and that is exactly what they did. Since then, since the bye week, Jalen Hurts just has 1 interception, 1 turnover throwing the ball in the air. But so far this season, under 3,000 yards passing. Not very good, right? Under 18, he just has just 18 touchdowns in this year. And when you look at these yardage-wise, 108 yards passing, 118 yards passing, 114 yards passing, 158 yards passing. When you hear those stats, you think this is bad quarterback play, and the team is probably losing those games, right? Well, guess what? All those games that I just listed, they won those games. They won those games. Jalen Hurts is only averaging 193 passing yards per game. The Philadelphia Eagles have one of the worst passing attacks in the NFL. They actually have the worst passing attack in the playoffs right now, sitting at 28th in the NFL. Hurts only has 3 games over 250 yards passing so far this season. They are 4-0 in those games. Let's not get it twisted, but they were close games. They beat the Packers 34-29. They beat the Saints 15-12, 20-16 versus the Browns, and 27-13 versus the Pittsburgh Steelers. Those are the 4 games that Jalen Hurts threw for over 250 yards. The reason why he's not having to pass the ball, because they do have the best defense in the NFL. So when we ask this question, we propose this question, does Jalen Hurts have to be great for the Eagles to beat the Rams? No, they do not. Jalen Hurts does not have to be great. Jalen Hurts doesn't have to be average. Jalen Hurts can be flat out bad as long as he's not throwing interceptions and he's able to say hike and hand the ball to Saquon Barkley. They're going to win this game. I don't see how the Rams can slow down Saquon Barkley. And if they happen to slow down Saquon Barkley, they can still run the RPO. Yeah, guys, Jalen Hurts is the strongest quarterback in the NFL. He can put the team on his back and carry them from 6 yards. He can still do that. He can run the RPO. And if he's a little scared, a little bit of scatterbrain, a little bit of fear in his eyes, he can still dump off the ball to A.J. Brown. A.J. Brown's going to be well rested. 1 catch last week, right? Did we forget about Devontae Smith? Guys, this Eagles offense can pop off at any time, but they choose not to. They choose to slow it down, baby. Let Saquon eat. If you guys happen to shut down Saquon, we still got Jalen Hurts. We still got the key to ignition. We could get that engine going anytime we want to. But Jalen Hurts does not have to be great. Jalen Hurts does not have to be the top dog. Jalen Hurts can be subpar as long as he's not throwing interceptions and making bad decisions. They're going to win this game. It is what it is. It is what it is. So what do you guys think? Does Jalen Hurts have to be great for the Eagles to beat the LA Rams? Does he have to be top dog? Throw for 250 yards, 3 tutties. Does he got to do that? I'm saying no, he does not. Does not got to do that at all. Mr. Davis says, first off, all of you Eagles fans, be aware of the LA Rams defense. There is no one more scared of playing the Rams than other teams in the NFL. Go Rams. Rams are playing good right now. Rams are the hottest team. I don't want to say the hottest team, but definitely one of the hottest teams in the NFL. If I had to rate hotness, right? Obviously, Taylor Swift is first. No. But in the NFC, it would probably be the Detroit Lions and then the Eagles and then the Rams, right? They were 9-2 since their bye week, right? They're playing good football. Their defense is getting better. Matthew Stafford's getting better. Puka and Kupp, they're all doing good things. They're all doing good things. And Mark says Kansas City is losing whoever wins the Buffaloes and Ravens game. Okay, still made it further than your team. Jim says, I'm down with the Eagles. Jim says, I'm down to clown. I'm down to walk with Jalen Hurts, even though he's going to only throw for 119 yards and 1 touchdown. It doesn't matter. And Nike Head says, ain't nobody scared of the Rams. Nike Head, you better slow it down, baby. You better slow it down, baby. You definitely need to be scared of the Rams. Because if you forget about them, they're going to come back and beat you like they did the 49ers, like they did the Seahawks, like they did the Minnesota Vikings. The Rams are a good team. Are they Super Bowl winning caliber team? I wouldn't put Super Bowl in their name right now. I would not do it. Even if they beat the Eagles, I'm like, probably not. Even if they make it to the Super Bowl, I'll be like, really? They made the Super Bowl? But you cannot overlook them at all. Like Mr. Davis just said, you cannot overlook them. If you overlook them and looking forward to the next week playing the Detroit Lions, something's going to happen. My man Drew's in the chat says, howdy, y'all. What's up, Drew? What's up, man? Hope you're having a good day. John says the Eagles are going to win 28-24. 28-24 Eagles win, he says. Okay. I see it. I like it. Laura says Rams will win. Their city is on fire. Makes for a perfect storyline. It's almost like somebody said that a couple weeks ago, Laura. It's almost like somebody said the LA Rams are going to beat the Minnesota Vikings because of the LA Fires. It's almost as if somebody said that the Rams might make it to the Super Bowl and be a better story than the Detroit Lions because their city's on fire. Who was that? My memory's kind of crazy. But Laura says Rams win 24-21. But Alpha Rob says, whoa. Y'all are picking the Rams. Y'all saying Jalen Hurts doesn't have to play. Great. Y'all saying this, y'all saying that. But here are the cold hard facts, says Alpha Rob. Alpha Rob says Jalen Hurts has to show something. He has to show some type of greatness. Whether it's thrown for 200 yards, whether it's thrown for a couple touchdowns, he has to show something. Not 119 yards passing and 0 touchdowns and 1 interception. That can happen. That can't happen, says Alpha Rob. John says, Ant called it. Hand it to Saquon. Throw for 150 yards. That is a dub. That is a dub. And Ant says he doesn't even have to be great. He just has to throw the ball for me just 150 yards to win. That's all he need. That's all Jalen Hurts got to do. He's not got to throw interceptions. Maybe throw for the ball 150 yard stops. If you break 150, whoa. Somebody cool this man down, right? But hey, 150 and like a win, that's all it needs. Lions Hype says Lions this year versus playoff team scored 230 points, allowed 194. Okay. That's pretty good. Jim says, how come anyone blank about Hurts when the almighty Mahomo isn't top 10 in any category and supposed to be heading for a three-peat? Because, Jim, stats lie to you. You can put up all the stats you want. You can put up 400-yard passing games. You can throw up 5 touchdown passing games. You can do this and you can do that. You can be 14-2 or 14-3 in the NFL regular season, been playing out of your mind, and it still doesn't matter. Stats lie to you. Gotta use the eye test. Use the eye test. Ant says Hurt can't win in a shootout against Stafford, though. Don't let him get hot. Saquon and that defense has to show up. You are correct. Maybe not even Saquon. The defense got to show up. The defense has got to show up. We'll be talking about that defense very, very soon, but the defense has got to show up. Mr. Davis says the Rams will stop the run game and then shut down the passing game and then move on to the next playoff game. End of story. He says, listen. Mr. Davis says, listen. Let me take off my glasses. Let me straighten them up, make sure they're good. Let me clear my throat. Okay, can you guys hear me in the back? The Rams will shut down Saquon Barkley. Saquon Barkley won't get over 50 yards rushing. The Rams will shut down that weak-ass passing game that Jalen Hurts has. The Rams will go into Philly. I don't care if it's snowing. I don't care if it's raining. I don't care if it's negative 20 degrees. I don't care if it's 120 degrees outside. The Rams are going to go into Philly, and they're going to whoop that ass, says Mr. Davis. Slow it down, maybe. Slow it down, but I like the confidence. I like the confidence. Let's go. Lions Hype says the Rams will win. He says he will win. Let me ask you this, Lions Hype. First of all, man, thank you for joining us. Like I was a little hard on you earlier, but hey, it is what it is. If you can't take the heat, get out the kitchen. But are you hoping that the Rams win because you don't want to play the Eagles in the NFC Championship game? Or are you hoping for that Matthew Stafford back to Ford Field storyline again? What's the real reason why you're picking the Rams? That's the real question. Alpha Rob says, do you trust Hurts if they need a TD to win the game? Yeah. It is not that I don't trust Jalen Hurts. You have to realize they still got a pretty good receiving core, right? Just because they're 28th in the NFL in passing, let's not forget that they still got a pretty good receiving core. They still got A.J. Brown, arguably a top 10 receiver in the NFL. They still have Devontae Smith. They still have Dotson. They still probably have the 5th tight end in the NFL in Dallas Goedert, right? The Eagles are a well-balanced team. Just because they haven't been lighting up the scoreboard as far as points-wise and yardage to the passing yards-wise, they still got that, right? It is like when you haven't rode a bike for like a long time and you used to like jump ramps and do flips and all that crap. Just because you're riding nice and easy down the street every now and then, and you see that jump, it doesn't mean that you can't take that jump and do yourself a little whip or a can, right? It's still there. It's still there. Pierce, a man, says, yeah. And so is Sam Darnold. Legit Figs 30 says, are you a Chiefs fan? I am a Chiefs fan. I am a Kansas City Chiefs fan. Born and raised Kansas City Chiefs fan. Alpha Rob says, it doesn't have to be a shootout. 17-13 Rams. Is everybody picking the Rams here? Is everybody liking the Rams? Okay, damn. Long Day Gray says, do the Eagles have a Super Bowl like the Rams? You know, McVay is a wizard. He's going to pull the game out. The Eagles do have a Super Bowl. I don't remember when they won the Super Bowl, but the Eagles have been to the Super Bowl more recent than the LA Rams. So Nick Sirianni is a wizard too, right? He's been there. He's done that. Just saying. Granted, they did beat a 5th-string quarterback in the San Francisco 49ers, but hey. Barrett Bennett says Stafford is currently 6-1 in the playoffs. Pretty good. I didn't realize it was that high, but yeah. When you never play in a playoff game in Detroit, and you go to LA and you are out of, did they play wild? Yeah, they were a wild card team that year. They're 4-0. So he's at least 5-1. I don't know 6 about. He's at least 5-1. But yeah, I mean either way, pretty good, right? Pretty good. Young Nine Slim says, look at the Rams' last 5 games. They haven't scored 20 points on offense like y'all year. What? I'm Young Nine Slim. The Rams' last 5 games, they haven't scored 20 points on offense like all year. The Rams' offense is perfectly fine. The Rams' offense is A-okay, man. I don't know why you're trying to hate on the Rams' offense. They're pretty good. Lions Hype says the Rams are riding the momentum wave. Eagles will get caught off guard, and I think if that happens, if the Eagles come out there and shock them early, I think you're right. Lucas says, Chiefs, let's go. Let's go. Pearson Man says Detroit is on fire, fool. Is it the 67 riots all over again? I hope not. Nike Head says, Not overlooking the Rams, but the Eagles defense will stay solid and Jalen will do just enough to push them past. Was that an old tush push pun? Tush pun. Jim says, I lived in Philly for a couple years. That city has been on fire with no flames for decades. Right. Isn't there also a Jim, isn't there another city in Philadelphia? I believe it's is it Centralia? That there's a mine there and it's been on fire for like 40 years and they had to like evacuate the whole town and the town's just a ghost town, just keeps burning for like the last 30 years. I think that's in Pennsylvania too, right? I'm sorry. What is Stafford's playoff record? I'd assume it's probably 5-1, 6-1, just like you said, Barrett. I mean, because he was 4-0 their Super Bowl run. And then last year they lost to the Detroit Lions in the wild card game. And then this year they won. So they got to be 5-1, right? He's got to be 5-1. Wheelchair Gamer says, people really think Rams are going to win. That's funny. What is funny about it? Wheelchair Gamer. What legitimately is funny about it? Because the Rams, like everybody's saying, great storyline, the nice momentum wave, a little bit of this, a little bit of that, and they're hot. They're 9-2 since their bye week. Don't be sleep on them. Young Nine Slim says Eagles will smash the Rams. Potentially. Jim says, why does it look like somebody blanked on your head? Because I'm going bald? I don't know. Because I'm consistently sucking dick? I don't know. John says, it doesn't matter. The Lions are on a mission. A mission to get the 25th overall pick. They are. Alpha Rob says, Brown is going to be running routes and reading at the same time. Listen, me as a coach, granted, it's at the high school level. I coached at the college level last season for a Division II college, right? But me as a high school head coach, if I ever see a player reading on the sideline, I don't care if you're the best player. I don't care if you're the worst player. I don't care if you're doing homework. You will not be on my football field. That was the biggest disrespect ever. Biggest disrespect ever. Let's just be honest. Lone Cone is that Sonic the Hedgehog that's high? Come on, man. Don't be dogging Sonic like that. But he says, I think the Rams will win too. We will be honest. It will be close, but he is good. And Josh also wants to say that Kenny Pickett is greater than Jalen Hurts. What? Josh, earlier this offseason, I don't remember if it was a members only stream or not. We do a lot of those. But I broke down Jalen Hurts because I was with you. I was like, people are hyping up Jalen Hurts, but my thought process, I thought he was overrated. Maybe not overrated, but definitely over-hyped and celebrated, right? And if you go back and you watch the film, look at the stats, watch the film, turn the sound off, watch the back film, and just watch Jalen Hurts. He is a damn good quarterback. He is a great leader. He is a great teammate. He is a damn good quarterback. Now, I'm not saying he's top 5, because obviously, you have to put up some stats to be still considered an elite quarterback. But Kenny Pickett is not better than Jalen Hurts. Stop it. Alberto Rodriguez says the Rams win 27-21. I think we're all kind of in the boat, about a 20 point a game there, right? Lion says, okay, bro, listen, I subscribed, not because I like you, but maybe I could like you if you put on a Lions hat. Lions hype, I got one better for you. I got a Hutchinson jersey hanging up in the closet. When the Lions win on Saturday night, on Monday's show, I will wear the Adrian Hutchinson jersey. But if they don't, you're going to hear it, boy. You are going to hear it, baby. And says, I honestly like the Rams' chances. They have a balanced offense and the pass rush is solid. Puka is a dog. Cooper can still get busy. Higbee is a solid tight end. And Kyron Williams is a top 5 running back in the league, in my opinion. The biggest challenge for them is containing Saquon. And Ant, every note that I have about the Rams are hot. The next question, You nailed it right there. There's no need to talk about it because Ant just nailed it. Ant just nailed it. Legit Video 36, thanks for the super chat, man. He says the Lions scored the 4th most points in a season all time. Listen, I'm not doubting the Lions' offense at all. 2nd-ranked offense, 2nd-ranked passing, 6th-ranked rushing. The Lions' offense is the real deal. The only question is their defense. What was it? The 22nd ranked overall defense. That's their only issue, right? Lions are the real deal. Jim says, yeah, that ghost town in Pennsylvania. Yes, that's burning. It might be Centralia or might be a C word. No, it's Sabetha. I can't remember. I don't know. But if you guys want a great YouTube video, look for it. Burning town in Pennsylvania. It's like about a 30-minute video. It's well worth the watch. Well worth the watch. Drew, what's up, man? He says, I believe the game will be close, but the Eagles will win. I'm with you on this, right? I like the Eagles. The Eagles are still my Super Bowl team, right? Not my Super Bowl team, but they're my pick to make it to the Super Bowl. But yeah, I do like the Eagles. Ant says, you should remember, Buck, they played your Chiefs and lost. That was Mahomes' 2nd ring. It was. But I meant like the last time they won. Because the Eagles won the Super Bowl with Nick Foles. I don't remember when it was. That was with Carson Wentz, Nick Foles. That was Carson Wentz's MVP year. Should have been an MVP year. What was that? Was that 2017, 2018? I can't remember. Derek says, I'm going with the old man Matthew Stafford and the Hobbit McVay. It's a good book, Buck. What? John's like, hey, what college did Jalen Hurts go to? Oklahoma. Oklahoma, John. Oklahoma. Boom! Says Lions on top, baby. Lions on top. Young 9 Lim says, all them Rams lovers, and you want to put money on it. Number 1 rusher, number 1 defense. Young 9 Slim, whatever you're, young 9 Slim. The number 1 defense, you need to slow down, baby. The Eagles got the number 1 defense, right? Oh, okay, yeah. Never mind. I digress. You're right. You're right. Ed says, here's a bigger question. Will A.J. Brown request a trade if the Eagles lose and it gets lesser than 3 targets? I think A.J. Brown is out either way. And have you heard the rumors of Patriots coach Mike Vrabel already said, hey, I like A.J. Brown. We should have never have traded him in the first place. A.J. Brown, come on home, baby. You seen it. A.J. Brown in the Patriots jersey. Right? Boom, boom, boom. I think A.J. Brown's out either either way. But speaking of the hot team, the L.A. Rams, one of the hottest teams, not only in the NFC, but the NFL in general. They are the hottest team in the NFC, right? But how can the Eagles slow down the Rams offense? How can the Eagles legitimately slow down the LA Rams offense right now? How can the Eagles slow them down? We've been talking about the Eagles. They're great defense. Their offense is great on rushing, subpar passing. But the Rams have one of the best balanced attacks in the NFL. Puka and Kupp might be the best 1-2 punches in the NFL for wide receivers. Puka, so far this season, has 990 yards passing or catching in just 11 games. That's an average of 90 yards per game. Cooper Kupp, 710 yards receiving in just 12 games. That's just under 60 yards per game. How about this? The top 4 receivers on the Rams all average 10-plus yards per catch. Kupp averages 10 yards per catch. Puka, 12 yards per catch. Tutu Atwell, 13.5 yards per catch. And Robertson, 17 yards per catch. Matthew Stafford has only been sacked 28 times this season. And on the road, so far this season, he has 10 touchdowns, just to 4 interceptions. Takes care of the ball when they're on the road. So, guys, if the Eagles want to beat the LA Rams, they need to limit the passing attack. They need to take away that deep threat, and force them to run the ball and nickel and dime it down the field. On the other hand, when the Rams run the ball and Kyron Williams rushes over 75 yards, the Rams win. Kind of a double-edged sword there, right? But this is what I want to say. The Eagles can beat the Rams if they make the drive a 3 and out or a 15 to 17 yard drive. No quick scores. No 5-yard drives or no 5-yard scoring plays, no 1 yard or 1 play scoring games. I want a quick 3 and out or a 15, 16 yard drive. If that happens, the Philadelphia Eagles come on top, guys. I think the Philadelphia Eagles can win this game if they do those things. With that being said, guys, how can the Philadelphia Eagles defense slow down the LA Rams offense? That is the question. Young Nine Slim says A.J. Brown can just get lost. Lions Hype says the Lions hottest team. They're 13-1 in the last 14. I said one of the hottest teams. If you want to go down that route, the Rams are 9-2 since their bye week. Laura says they can't slow them down. Did you all not watch them against the Minnesota Vikings? They can't slow them down. Laura, we all do respect. And I mean, we all do respect. You can't say we all do respect Ricky Bobby. Right. The Vikings defense is no match for the Philadelphia Eagles defense. Let's just be honest. John says you got to take out Matthew Stafford. If you want to win, cut him at his knees. Take him out. Xavier Worthy as him says, go Kansas City. Go Kansas City. All right, guys, it is hour number 2. We are 90 minutes into today's show. It is time to get into a little bit of panic or a little bit of patience. Buck, what are you talking about? Panic or patience is very, very simple, guys. We've been scouring the old interwebs. I've been seeing what the people are talking about. I've been seeing a little bit of this and a little bit of that. And we're going to determine if we need a panic or we need to slow it down, baby. We need to be patient. So, guys, panic or patient here on the Friday edition. Each and every Friday here in hour number 2, we do panic or patience. So let's start off at the top. In the Aaron freaking Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers, guys. This guy cannot be out of the news for one day. But Aaron Rodgers says his future with the New York Jets hangs in the balance of the new coach/GM. AKA basically kind of hinting like, hey, Aaron Rodgers is going to have a say in who the head coach is and the general manager is. If he doesn't get his, he's going to be, I'm out. Now, I said this personally that I think Aaron Rodgers needs to walk away. AKA retire or go somewhere like San Francisco. His time in New York is over. But guys, should the New York Giants fans be in panic road if Aaron Rodgers does come back to New York? So if Aaron Rodgers stays in New York, has a say of who the head coach is, who the general manager is, New York Jets fans need to panic. When you guys think about this, Garrett Wilson, their 2022 number 1 pick in the draft, I think it was 10th overall, basically said this season, if Aaron Rodgers comes back next season, he wants out. He wants traded. Are you willing to risk that? Are you willing to wish to bring back a washed-up quarterback to your team to get rid of your number 1 draft pick from 2022? Jets fans, are you willing to do that? I'm not. Garrett Wilson is the real deal. And I'm seeing a lot of fans out there that want Aaron Rodgers back in 2025. I see a lot of fans saying, hey, Aaron Rodgers is a top 10 quarterback. Look at the stats. Every major stat category, he's top 10. 3,897 yards passing this season, which is 8th in the NFL. 28 touchdowns this season, which is 7th in the NFL. But if you guys would use your eyes test and realize that Aaron Rodgers is not a top 10 quarterback. Guys, if Aaron Rodgers comes back to New York and you are agreeing with this as a New York Jets fan, you should be in panic mode. It is time to panic. Because, guys, Aaron Rodgers is the beginning of the end of the New York Jets next season if he comes back. As his first season, he was 5-12 this season. He was 5-12. This is the worst Jets record since 2021. When they went 4-12, and guess what? Zach Wilson was their quarterback. Mr. Zach Wilson, he's terrible, right? Zach Wilson led the Jets to 2 back-to-back 7-10 seasons. Aaron Rodgers 5-12. So who's really better now? But New York Giants fans, if Aaron Rodgers comes back to town, you have to panic. You have to panic because that means he had a say in the head coach. That means he had a say in the general manager. That means he's going to be underneath Aaron Rodgers' fingerprint for the next 5 years. Are you guys happy being 5-12? Are you happy being 4-13? Are you happy being a top 10 draft pick each and every year? Welcome Aaron Rodgers back to town then. But guys, should the New York Football Giants be in panic or patient mode that Aaron Rodgers is even thinking about coming back? Thinking about coming back. Laura says, hey, he can stay with the Jets. I understand Buck history says he repeats himself. And I understand he's been in the Jets for 2 seasons. And history says he's going to come to Minnesota next year. I don't want him. Stay in New York, says Laura. Lions Hype says Aaron is washed. And Lions Hype, I agree with you, brother. I agree with you, man. He is definitely not the MVP of Aaron Rodgers from just, 3 years ago, 4 years ago? Right? He's definitely not a Super Bowl winning quarterback right now. The Jets do not even have a Super Bowl winning roster. Let's just be honest. But John says, slow it down, baby. No, that's the wrong one. It says, don't panic. John says, slow it down. Be patient. Be patient. And Alpha Rob says, be patient. Jets fans, welcome Aaron Rodgers back. Slow it down, baby, because I want those guaranteed wins every year. He says, I want those 2 wins every year. And Drew says, that's not what Aaron Rodgers said. He said it's up to the general manager and coach on whether he want to keep him or not. Drew, sometimes, buddy, you have to read between the lines. You have to read between the lines. That tells me it depends the head coach or general manager wants me. That is a slide jab at Woody Johnson saying, hey, if you want me to come, you better ask who I want as the head coach. You better ask who I want as a general manager. You better ask who I want on this roster. That's what it says to me. We've seen it a couple years ago when he said that. Yeah, I'm going to New York, but, if you guys get this guy, this guy, it'd be a hell of a lot easier. Of course, he didn't say that, but all of a sudden they sign MVS. All of a sudden they sign Alan Lazard. All of a sudden, what's his face was on the roster? Dalvin Cook. Now all of a sudden Devontae Adams is there. Like, come on. Read between the lines, Drew. Read between the lines. Young 9 Lim Sim says Aaron Rodgers needs a running game. Limit his passing to 20 to 25 times a game. And that's not going to happen. That's not going to happen. Aaron Rodgers' ego says, hey, I got to throw the ball 40 times a game. That's why Breece Hall had his worst season of his career. Granted, it's only second year, whatever, right? But still, not very good. Patience, boys. Patience, she says. Patience. Ant says, even without Rodgers, the Jets are still in trouble. And Ant, you are correct. They can have Aaron Rodgers or they cannot have Aaron Rodgers. Either way, next year they are going to suck. But, would you rather have an opportunity to grow with a young quarterback, rookie quarterback, whatever, right? And Garrett Wilson and Sauce Gardner and Breece Hall, they got a nice young nucleus in New York. If you keep Aaron Rodgers for one more year, you probably don't draft a quarterback. Granted, the quarterback drafting class is pretty bad. Well, you got Cam Ward and Shador, and that's about it. But still, come on. No risk it, no biscuit, and Aaron Rodgers is holding you back. Aaron Rodgers is like that ex wearing that Pittsburgh Steelers jersey. Like, man, she looks good, but I know you're one and done over there, baby. I want that ring. I want that ring. That's why I'm wearing that purple jersey. If you know, you know. Laura says Giants or the Jets. Keep him in MetLife Stadium, just not in Minnesota, she says. Josh says Wilson is not even in the same stratosphere as Rodgers when he was in his prime. I'm not saying Garrett Wilson is the best receiver in the NFL, Josh, but I'm saying when Garrett Wilson is your best receiver on your team, and he's basically saying, "Hey, it's me or him." Do you want a 25-year-old receiver that is ascending into his prime, or a 43-year-old quarterback that's well past his prime? Give me that young thug over there. Give me 2 of those 25-year-olds for that 43-year-old. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Excuse me. Richard Lopez says, anybody who thinks the Texans have a chance must have some type of meds. Okay, slow down. Ant says Aaron needs a coach who will challenge him like he can't get fired like Mike T. I could see his potential going to Pittsburgh. They'll love getting old quarterbacks that aren't in their prime anymore. And I think that's what Aaron Rodgers needs to be challenged, right? Because when he was with the Packers and Matt LaFleur, he was a young coach, right? Well younger than Aaron Rodgers. Let's be honest. It was Aaron Rodgers' way or the highway over there. Hell, he got Mike McCarthy pushed out. But yeah, you're right. Lions Hype says, do you think the greatest trade ever, Stafford for Goff? Goffy, Josh, and yes. The Lions, they definitely won that trade with like Matthew Stafford. I definitely agree. JM says wide receivers don't win Super Bowls, quarterbacks do. You are correct, JM. It is a quarterback-driven league, but are you telling me that Aaron Rodgers is going to win a Super Bowl without Garrett Wilson? Can you legitimately look at me in the face and say Aaron Rodgers will win a Super Bowl without Garrett Wilson on the New York Jets? No. Not going to happen. Not going to happen. Next up, and panic or patience, my man Derrick Henry. Mr. King Henry himself. The best Baltimore Ravens running back ever. That's right, I said it. But Derrick says he wants to be called Lightning McQueen from the Cars movies. He wants this to be his new nickname. No more King Henry. Call him Mr. Lightning McQueen. So, guys, should the fans be panicked or patient with Derrick Henry's new nickname? So, when I first saw this, my first thought was like, y'all know that Lightning McQueen got replaced in his old age, right? Y'all understand that Lightning McQueen wrecked when he was trying to keep up with the young guns, and he came back and he couldn't keep up with the young guns, and he got replaced. I'm not for sure if Derrick Henry knows that. I have a 6 and a 4-year-old in the house. We watch a lot of Cars. Derrick Henry, I don't think Lightning McQueen is the nickname that you want. I don't think Lightning McQueen is that name that you want, buddy. But guys, I'm just a hearsayer. I see it. Guys, should we start calling Derrick Henry Lightning McQueen? Should we? That's panic mode, baby. Push yourself in panic mode. If you see Derrick Henry want to call himself Lightning McQueen, something's wrong. My man's getting old. He's getting ready to get replaced. He did what in his cup? Man, I know Lightning McQueen won what, 4 Piston Cups or 5 Piston Cups or whatever it is. He did what in his cup? But come on, man. You don't want to be called Lightning McQueen. I'm just saying, you don't want to be called Lightning McQueen. Let's stick to King Henry. Let's stick to King Henry. Ghost is a cat lover. Says, hey, I'm a Chiefs fan. We going for that 3-peat. Probably. JM says, keep Aaron for another year. Trade Wilson for pricks and offensive lineman. Okay. Alpha Rob says, panic. He's going to call himself sent home on Sunday. Love it, Alpha Rob. Love it. Derek says, he's a punk for ditching husband homeboy that moved to families in the whole wood. He would be there. What? I don't know what you're saying, Derek. Laura says, Lightning McQueen is a no-go. She says, I know how Mr. Kachow did his thing. Yeah, that is a no-go. And says, I don't give a damn what his nickname is. I'll call him whatever he wants as he's running my team. The Super Bowl wins, baby. He says, I'll call him daddy as long as he gives me that Super Bowl win. Drew says, Kachow. A little bit of Kachow. Kachow. All right, guys, it's time for a little bit of fact mixed in with a little bit of crap. Oh, that's the wrong button. As you guys know, I do like to scour the old interwebs. I like to sit on the old pooperoni and see what people are talking about. So in this particular segment, here in the last 15 minutes of the day's show, every day, we do a little thing called fact and a little bit of crap. Like I said, scour the old interwebs, see what the people are saying, and we're going to determine if it's a fact or if it indeed is a crap. It is indeed a fact or crap. And this one is strictly for Laura. This one is for Laura. As you guys know, there are some great artists out there. There are some great artists out there, from my man Tech Nine to Guns N' Roses to MGK to Garth Brooks to Brooks and Dunn, Reba McEntire, right? We got all those great artists, right? But there's one artist, guys, out there that I feel trumps them all. So, guys, is it fact or is it crap that Taylor Swift, that my girl Tay-Tay, is the best artist ever to live? Guys, Taylor Swift is a multi-platinum, Grammy Award-winning, sold millions and millions and millions of albums. She just got off the Eras Tour and made billions and billions and billions of dollars. Guys, Tay-Tay is on top of the world. She feels 22 again. Tay-Tay can shake anything off that you send her way. Tay-Tay is dating the best tight end the NFL game has ever seen. Sorry, Mike Ditka. Sorry, Gronk. But Travis Kelce and Tay-Tay are a match made in heaven. So, guys, is it fact or is it crap that Tay-Tay is the greatest artist ever? And I got to say crap. I am a Tay-Tay fan. I listen to Tay-Tay all the time. But you guys, sleeping on my girl Pink. Don't be sleeping on my girl Pink. I went and saw Pink on the summer something tour or whatever. We're in Cincinnati. This girl gets on a zip line. She comes up to me face to face and she gives me a kiss and I tongue crap her. Listen, Pink is great. I love me some Pink. Guys, fact or crap, is Tay-Tay the greatest artist of all time? It is crap. It is crap. Let's just be honest. Drew says, who's her daddy? I think TK's her daddy. Laura says, crap. That shit is so disgusting. Don't be shaking it off, Laura. Rams got Matthew Stafford. The Lions got Jared Goff. I don't even know how to say that name. McVuckfu, Jameson Wilson, Josh Pascal, Jahmyr Gibbs, Sam Porta, and Brock Martin. Pretty good trade. But guys, that is going to be it for the weekend. Sorry, this week's show. We are live every Monday through Friday, 9 p.m. East Coast time. We'll be back Monday. Let's do some picks. Let's go across the landscape, guys. Let's start off the top. Saturday afternoon, we do have the Houston Texans taking on the Kansas City Chiefs. Who do you guys got? The Chiefs are now a 8.5-point favorite. The spread just went up 1 point. I am picking my Kansas City Chiefs. I think the Kansas City Chiefs come out and they start slow. 10-0, 14-0, potentially going into midway to the second quarter. And the Kansas City Chiefs turning it on, right? They turn it on and they come back and they win 27-14 is that final score. I'm picking the Kansas City Chiefs in this particular game. Saturday night on Fox, 9.5-point favorite. We got the Detroit Lions taking on the Washington Commanders. They are, like I said, they're a 9.5-point favorite. I am picking the Detroit Lions. As much as I want to pick the Washington Commanders in the upset, I am sticking to my guns. I think the Washington Commanders have definitely overachieved this season. And much like the Minnesota Vikings, the Cinderella story comes to an end at midnight. And midnight is Sunday at 8 o'clock p.m. over there on Fox. So I'm picking the Chiefs. I'm picking the Lions on Saturdays. And then we got the Sunday game, 3 o'clock. We have the Philadelphia Eagles take on the LA Rams. The Eagles are a 6.5-point favorite. Good Lord. This game is intriguing, right? I feel like this game can go either way. I feel we're going to hear Chris Collinsworth talk a lot about the LA Fires and how great Matthew Stafford is all game long. But I think the Eagles are too much for the LA Rams. I'm picking the Philadelphia Eagles in the win. It wouldn't be an upset since they're considered a 6.5-point favorite. So I got the Eagles in this particular game. Who do you guys got? And then the 6:30 game, this is the last game, the last divisional game, arguably the best game of the weekend. We have the Baltimore Ravens take on the Buffalo Bills. The Ravens are 1.5-point favorites. Ooh, slow it down. But I'm taking the Buffalo Bills in this particular game. I think playoff Lamar Jackson is just a little bit not enough to be carried. Even though we spoke on it yesterday that I thought Lamar Jackson can have a bad game and his team still gets carried, I think Josh Allen just plays that much better. So I got the Bills, Eagles, Lions, and Chiefs, all the home games in this particular game, giving us a Chiefs-Bills AFC Championship game at Arrowhead and a Lions-Eagles NFC Championship game at Ford Field in Detroit, Michigan. Those are my picks, guys. Hope you guys have a good weekend. Head over to facebook.com/manhour. And if you guys haven't done so already, like the stream, share the stream, and of course, subscribe as well, because sharing is caring at the end of the day. And Laura says, is there an after-hour show tonight? Laura, there is an after-hour show. There is an after-hour show. If you are a Pigskin Pundit, if you clicked on the members tab and you pay that little bit of members fee, and you want that free t-shirt, you want the beanie, you want the hoodie, you get all that gear for free. If you become a Pigskin Pundit, do an after show. We're hanging out. No trivia. We're just going to hang out. We're going to talk some shit for a little bit. But until then, guys, we'll see you Monday if you're not a Pigskin Pundit. 9 p.m. East Coast time. Until then, we out.